Hey,
Woo! What's
how
up?
are we?
What's up, guys?
A bit of a bloodbath on the crypto market today, but don't worry, we're here. We will hold your hand through uncertain times, and we will impart our wisdom and our knowledge onto you, so that you guys can make informed decisions and maybe just take a load off those shoulders for you, just to help you understand what's going on a bit. What do you think,
Uh,
Marsh?
what what is going on, Gooding? I thought Valentine's Day was supposed to be happy, but I guess symbol of like hearts and I don't know. Everything is bleeding. It's all going to the floor.
Yeah, no hearts
But
here today, mate.
sh-
It's all
should
just
I sell my entire stack, Gooding? I guess I ask
um,
myself that every single day. Should I sell
Well,
everything? And
you've got to ask yourself, how weak are your hands? If they're weak, then you would have probably sold, you probably would have sold as soon as it was like all the way at the bottom of the red, especially if that e-gold when it hit $65 on Binance
yeah,
today. Um, but but mate, you're still here, so you can't be your hands can't be too weak, right?
yeah, no, I'm definitely sticking around for a while.
Yes.
Yeah, that does. I don't want to admit sort of how often this has happened, but sometimes I get the feeling like, oh my god, this coin is going to zero. I gotta quit. I gotta get out of here, and then I sell, and that's like the exact second of the turnaround, and it's almost
Yeah, I know.
like somebody I'm being spied on or something like that. But I also know that like that's how those cycles work. They often go down just to that
Mate,
level that is like your breaking point, and then they snap in the opposite direction. Because if it's your breaking point, it's often the breaking point for many other people. So, did
mate,
you sell your
here's
bags? Did you sell your bags to the bankers, guys? I don't know. I hope not.
I will. Yeah, admittedly, yeah, does happen to everyone at some point. You sell at the wrong time, and then all of a sudden it goes back up, and then you cry a little bit. One of my biggest cry moments was Ethereum network. If you go onto Bitmax, and I had a really big bag because I got in really, really early, and if you go like to the when it sort of starts to go up, and then it comes back down, hits that low point. Because I had such a big bag, I end up just like, and it was such low liquidity, it pretty much floored the price down to like 3 cents, and
Mm.
that was the point where it turned around. So I was, and then I bought OM straight after,
Oh
uh,
man. Oh
and
man.
we all know how that went. So that was a very big bag, big juicy bag that went from 0 to 0 very quickly, unfortunately, and it just happens. You just learn from it, and you just don't make the mistake again, and you move on with your day, and I understand that some of our members were a little bit edgy. Some people do have loans, and need to sort of just make sure they got the right balance of collateralization for their loans, so they don't get liquidated.
Mm.
Um, but it's dangerous, mate. And I've got the chart here, and it's a little bit red. There's a bit of green there. But if you look at Bitcoin, it's only down about 3% today. So things are still bullish, and Harry will give some further TA on that. I don't think I'm not too worried for the crypto market at this stage, and we'll go into a little bit of news as to why it sort of went down just that little bit. There's a little bit of FUD.
Yeah, some minor FUD. I mean, I guess it technically did sort of break formation and everything. Everybody starts to panic after that point.
Mm.
Yeah, but I don't know. I tell myself you got to keep it in perspective. Things haven't changed really. Did Elon unbuy 1.5 billion dollars of Bitcoin? Did he sell that back? Did all these investment firms return their
Yeah,
Bitcoin? I get the feeling like no, like this might be a
yeah.
really good
I think
opportunity for
I
them
think
to
Milo
buy.
Sale is still holding his as well. So.
Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know. It's investing is obviously a personal thing, and this is not financial advice, obviously. But you gotta.
I have a feeling you cut out there, Marsh. So I'll I'll carry the torch there, mate, while you work through your technical issues.
Using.
But some of the there we go. You've come back. There you go. There
Was
you go. You're
I
back,
was
Marsh.
cutting out?
Yeah, you cut out really
Oh.
strongly. You just mid sentence.
Uh,
Yeah, that
but I
was
was
pretty much it.
making extremely relevant points. I was
I know,
making
man.
well,
That's why I waited.
I
I
don't
was
know.
waiting. I thought I was like, wow, he's really
The
paused for effect
internet,
here.
my my internet. Yeah, the point is don't sell your bags to Michael Saylor. He's gonna keep getting more Bitcoin.
Mm.
Think of your, I don't know, what's your time scale? If you, like many people in this market, have made I don't know, 300% plus on your coins since the beginning of the year, then what's a 20-30% drop? Is that, did that erase all your gains? I don't know.
But
Not financial advice. It's not
for the
financial
guys
advice.
for the guys who FOMOed in on the green candles, yeah, they did. But the problem is, a lot of people, right? They look at these charts and they go down to, the 5 minute mark, right? And this is what they do. They look at it. Let me just try and zoom in a bit so we get some fatter looking candles. But they
Yeah,
essentially they
put
see it
yourself
like
into the
this,
mindset of a
and all they do is all they see is
uh,
that red. I've deliberately cut off what comes next, and then they're like, there's a zero down here, and then they start freaking out. They're like, "Oh my god, everything's going to zero, guys! Sell everything now before we have no money." And then, but if they just waited,
yeah.
or if they at least just click, a higher time frame, they'll sort of see that things aren't as bad as they had thought. Um,
Oh,
you know what I mean? And
yeah,
here's a
interesting.
nice healthy support line here. I drew it in before. You can sort of see got a few 4 hour candles sort of bouncing off it, um, and it's acting as a support. And that's what we've just witnessed. So as bullish as good. I think we need to sort of watch, and I think the market might become a little bit choppy. Um, I'm not too worried at this stage, but I'll be watching closely, and I'll probably just hold off on a few of my trades. Maybe just hold a bit of Bitcoin, and if it dumps one more time, I'll
Hmm.
be able to, trade it in for some oversold alts. I'll carry over to Ethereum. Look, yeah, I think we're still on our way to Mars, and just like any good trader would do, they sort of just move their
You're moving the
their
goalposts. Yeah, you gotta just
yeah.
adjust the game here a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit.
it's a bit of a no-brainer,
Well,
but
indicate it. That's what they always say. Like, indicators are lagging, right? So that's all we're doing here, just adjusting the indicators for current information.
exactly right.
No, what was I gonna say? That's there's that squiggly line going on underneath the candles, right? What is that called again? I'm just for the new
Yeah, that's
people.
right. I think they call it a moving average.
A moving average, and that just sort of takes the prices and averages them out or something like that.
Yeah, so like it
I,
does change every sort of time frame. So for instance, this is a 4 hour here. If I go to the daily, you'll watch that green line is actually much lower. Um, and that's why a lot of people use the higher time frames. But
mm,
right now on the 4 hourly, you'll see there we're sort of actually just below it, and we might have one more. It's hard to really say there, but it'd be good if we can just sort of stay above it, and that's what people look for, and they're like, "Yeah, we're bullish," and whether or not that's
right.
yeah, every trader's got their strategy, right? I sort of just factor it in because I know a lot of people do use it, and maybe that sort of
No,
dictates
it
the
is
price a
it
little
is
bit.
good. It's very good. Just I don't know if you could scroll over just a tiny bit to the left. It seems like every time, at least I don't know. Again, not financial advice, but every time it did dip below that
Mm.
squiggly line, the moving average, it seemed like a decent buy
It did
because it
because
always went up after that.
look at this one. It was around about the 1300. That's when I loaded up some ETH, and then we covered it live as it was
Yeah,
breaking out. And then
yeah,
we took a trip around the moon there, and we've sort of just kept plodding along there. We've got some nice kangaroo
yeah.
bounces, don't we? That's what we call them in Australia.
No,
It's actually a
I'm
technical
being a little
term.
sarcastic. I'm being a little sarcastic, but it is important to just know. Yeah, I don't know. Live an upside down world. Think like a psychopath. Every time people are losing their shirts, they sold their house and then lost their mortgage. They can't make their payments. That's the time to get cheap houses. That's the time to get in there and consolidate, as they say. So even if it dips again, I don't know. You can consolidate more. I would just be bullish in general on what's going
I
on
think
here.
I think the ones with the strong hands, they always say, just a healthy correction, guys, hold on. But geez, there's a lot of healthy corrections last September. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, let's go to the Bitcoin dominance. Nothing really to report here um, as to what some of the altcoins are doing. We're still below that 200-day moving average, which is really bullish for the alts. And you can sort of see there, we sort of tried to come back and test it, and we sort of headbutted right on the 200-day moving average and then came back down. So things are looking very bullish there.
Mm.
And I do want to sort of point out, I don't know if I'll just sorry, I should have been a bit more prepared here, but I just want to sort of talk about what you can do to be prepared for these dumps. Um, and it starts with portfolio management. This is where you really need to have an allocation, right, to where your funds sort of sit. So, for instance, what I have is I have a healthy allocation to Bitcoin, Ethereum, or the large cap alts, right? And then I have an allocation towards my shat coins. Sometimes a little too big, a little too big, but and then I have a nice healthy portion to my liquidity in stable coins. And what that allows me to do is to set a heap of really low orders, and I can catch some dumps. And one that I sort of want to show you, just as an example, as to what sort of dumps you can catch. And dumps aren't, without the context, dumps aren't usually the sort of thing you want to catch.
Whoa, look at that.
But here is e gold, right?
Powerful.
But we know that this coin is very bullish. There is absolutely nothing wrong with this fundamentally at all. And there is a lot going on. And yes, it has had a lot of, bullish news, but holy damn, if I had actually, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Well, actually went down to 65 on other screens, but it's sort of saying just above there. But anyway, if you had been ready, if you had set that nice low buy order, right,
Mm.
you could have set it there. And within literally, if I go down to even lower time frames, I'm pretty sure it's down to the minute. See if we go down to the minute. There it is.
I'm trying to
Down to
find
the
it.
minute, you'll find that. Really sorry, guys. Bear with me.
Yeah, it was
You'll
just a
find that
moment in time.
you could have literally 2x your money within well, I lie actually, but you almost 2x your money within a minute as it came back up. It was bought
Yeah.
back up. If you had to wait like 10 minutes, you would have been 2x. So, this is you can't see it as, you know, you can't see your stable coins as always wasted opportunity. You need to sort of see this as I'm prepared for the next opportunity. And dumps are normal. These and that's geez, that was a very there was a big bag with very weak hands that sold this because it was sort of going up and geez, he dumped a big one.
Yeah.
That is massive. Now it's sitting around about $140. So you got to ask yourself, he'd be kicking himself, to be honest. Whoever that guy
Mm.
was, what an absolute nincompoop. Um,
Yeah, it only took a couple hours. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't follow that strategy of keeping some stable coins on hand because yeah, feeling like you're missing the opportunities going down. But yeah, the tricky part about crypto is if you try to get all, I mean, this is really just in life in general. If you try to catch all of the opportunities, you will end up catching none of them because you won't be properly focusing yourself. So yeah, you got to come to grips with that fact. You might miss some opportunities if you're keeping those stable coins in, but I'm sure a lot of people are wishing they had kept some stable coins on hand for just such an occasion as today. Gooding.
mm. I do want to sort of touch on just one more point just to cap that one off. And it's just that when do you take profits? You don't want to be the last man holding the bag, right? When everyone else is dumping. So, when things are feeling good and you're like, wow, I'm really up in this bag. I want to take my niche that. Maybe I'll even take a little bit extra profit, right? And then you rebalance your portfolio, and then all of a sudden you could actually have a bit of that USDT sitting there waiting for the next dump, and you're like, all right, I'm positioned. My
Mm.
portfolio is now under control. Now I've got a plan for it all. And now I've got, all right, I'm ready to catch my next opportunity. And I've just sort of touched on what's the cause of FUD today. And apparently it's this. I'm not 100% sold that this is what's caused the FUD, but, some significant person here apparently is pretty much saying the US will not allow the US dollar to stop being the reserve world reserve currency. And they're,
Hmm.
there's a bit of gossip. Basically, it's gossip. That's all it is at this stage. They're gossiping about whether or not they will regulate significant institutions from holding or allocating a part of their balance sheet, a large portion of Bitcoin. So, whether or not this is a thing, we've heard about this before. It's not the first time this has come up, right? But here it is. It's in the news, and who really cares, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of pushback. I don't know. We're seeing it from all over the place. Different countries trying to regulate, try to stop people from doing the Bitcoin. Um, but again, yeah, I don't know. I guess they don't read up on how this thing actually works. Literally, anybody can make a wallet, send the money into Bitcoin, and then what are you gonna do? I mean, sure, they can say like, yeah, we're gonna not do this, but what's to stop companies then from rearranging their balance sheets, saying they're losing all this money, and then just flowing that into Bitcoin? I don't know. Not financial advice companies, but you
Well,
could
we
roll it off and then not tell
we all we
people.
all
I don't
know the
know.
banks do it, right? They
Yeah.
they're like, oh, I don't know how that got there, sir. That's the cartel's money. Gee,
Yeah,
wow, how did that
exactly.
happen? Um, but I
Yeah.
do want to give a bit of a shout out. Now we got Candy, we got Johnny, we got My Parents Music. I wish I really knew a better name for you. Thanks very much for joining us today, guys. We'll try and make this a nice short one today. Obviously, we're Bitcoin fans. I'll just sort of mention good days like this, which were traders start feeling worried to come in. Day traders start feeling worried. Yeah, day traders are very worried, mate, because they look at the shorter time frames, and day trading is not easy. It's already hard enough, looking at the larger time frames, let alone day trading. I'm not saying it's not impossible. Harry does it with forex trading, so um, yeah, like it depends. It depends. They probably wouldn't be worried if they had their risk management and the relevant stop losses. So super farm is super farm is super farm. Yeah, mate. Yeah. I didn't get into the IDO. I got rejected. It's not the
Hmm.
first time it's happened in my life, that's for sure. And that might be a good segue there to just talk about some of the requirements for super farm and mush. Did you get in the IDO, mate? You put a few bids down on the
What's going
NFTs.
on with Super Farm? I don't know if I'm gonna get in there, Gooding. These like launches, these NFT sales, like they totally stress me out. Like you know about it, you want to get in, and then you're all of a sudden you're there. I don't know. I get like performance anxiety. I'm trying to like click the MetaMask as fast as I can. I'm trying to adjust my gas, and then I like maybe adjust too much gas or and then
Yeah,
it gets rejected, and
yeah,
maybe you burn through your whole entire like extra
yeah.
ETH
You start
stack just to get
exclaiming, "I
this
swear
thing
this
through.
never happens."
Yeah, exactly.
Performance
So
anxiety. Oh,
yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna get in on it. But yeah, obviously I'm hyped for Elio and his success, and it seems like people are pretty pumped about these cool NFTs that he's got lined up.
yeah.
It's really generating a lot of hype. I think it's working.
Yeah. So with the KYC, I'm pretty sure I did get quite rejected on that. Apparently, I was too ugly,
Hmm.
and I felt like this NFT drop was a second chance, really. Luckily I got up early and I was sort of looking at a few of the NFTs, and no one had put orders down yet. And I thought this was a bit odd, so I'm just putting a few orders down, and I'm trying to read some of the rules, and I might just sort of express some of the requirements here, guys. I know some of you are very keen on this, so for every extra like from now on, I'll drop a tip. So I'll just sit here waiting, and
Like and
nah,
subscribe.
no, I'll go into it. So, firstly, why do you want to buy these NFTs? Now, there's a few upcoming things. I won't talk to that too much, but the two things that these sort of preach right now is that the NFTs will give you an allocation of Superbum tokens, and you'll be airdrop these at drop one, drop two, three, four. From 30 to 120 days, and there's your allocations there. And each of the different NFTs have a different allocation of tokens depending on the rarity of your card. Additionally, there is voting power for the depending on the rarity of your card. And I'll sort of scroll down here. You've got the uncommons, 200 cards. Yeah, cool. Only 100 for sale. So there's an indication that there will be 100 more possibly coming into circulation, and he's already set the retail price, and and there's a voting power of one. And this is for an uncommon. You can see there you get 1,200 super tokens, and those 1,200 super tokens will be airdropped 10% after 30 days. That's where this comes in, right? Now, I do want to express this is a rule that I think a lot of people have overlooked, and you really need to sort of make sure you understand what's sort of happening. So when they say retail price is 0.25, and then you come on to OpenSea, and I recommend that you go directly to their official Telegram to go to the correct link for OpenSea. One of the things you want to do, make sure you check, is make sure that is the address that's up the top, so you're not possibly clicking on some sort of scam account. And I don't know why those images, they're just not loading. But anyway, we'll come down here, and here you have all the orders, and you can sort of see some of the price differentiations are here. Now, look, the price for an uncommon is a quarter of an ETH, and it goes to half an ETH, then to 2 ETH, and then you've got 10 ETH. So if the prices aren't the same as what's stipulated in that medium, your bid, regardless of whether it's too high or too low, they will not be accepted. It has to be the exact retail price. And then if you click on, we'll click on this, for instance, here, and you'll find that, you've got 3 orders in here, 0.25. So those 3 will be considered. And it is, from my understanding, a first come, first serve, first serve, anyway, first come, first serve.
Came.
Anyway, yeah, I think we both stuffed it. 0.27, that'll get instantly rejected. Even though he's offering even more financial incentive, he will be rejected. And then it'll be first come, first serve for these 3 here. Now, for these guys to be considered, you need to have your wallet address on the Super Farm, the Elio Trades Twitter. There might even be a Super Farm one. Someone will have to correct me on that. And OpenSea also had a bug. They might not have updated the metadata. So you've got to make sure you put your wallet address on the on Twitter on this account, and you'll see the one that says drop your Ethereum addresses here. The team will then have those addresses, and they'll go through and they'll give it to the people that have first of their orders. Now, I wouldn't give up just because you see orders on all of them. I wouldn't give up, because I'll show you why. You get people like Lightning Crypto, and I dare say it could be one of our members, but I cannot confirm or deny at this stage because. But I do know a few of their members got in nice and early, right? And they're putting in orders while everyone was, while Marshall is asleep, and that you'll find that, some of these orders, it's just the one person putting the same order down. Hopefully I can sort of demonstrate it. Not a bad example straight off the bat. Cool. No, that won't do. But anyway, there's one person that went around and put down orders on everything, right? And again, it's not coming up for me. Cool, poor example. But anyway, he's put down orders on hundreds of cards, and I've seen this, but he's not going to be able to afford all those cards. And then again, the team will also, once they've given an allocation, his wallet address will go to the, once they've bought a card, it will go to the back, the end of the, the list on the rest of the cards. I'm not 100% sure on the finer details of that, but what I'm saying is don't give up, because you'll find that some of these people have put multiple orders down. And I think the Super Farm team will work on a fair distribution, trying to give out to each people that put their orders in. And then once everyone's got one, possibly, then they'll try and, that might double up on a few people after that. But have a look. There's a few opportunities there. If they've gone over, you can possibly put an order down, and just try your luck. It is a bidding war. There is Lightning Crypto. You'll see his name everywhere.
He's quick, though. You got to admit.
He was in there very early, right about the time I was looking at it this morning. But yeah, I do like some of the artwork. There's 2D and there's 3D artwork. I thought it was pretty nifty. I really liked some of the artwork. Were you a fan, Marsh?
I think it's super cool. It's the whole CryptoPunk vibe, cyberpunk, which, it depends on what you think about cyberpunk. Obviously had some difficult press, but the design was super hip, and yeah, I think it was a great choice of his to go with this sort of production design. Yeah, and the animations, I don't know, it's all got a quite bullish vibe, honestly. I've always sort of been an Elio fan, but he's definitely nailing this whole launch thing, generating the hype, and yeah, these cards are gonna be cool.
Yeah, I think they're pretty cool too, to be honest. I'll see. All right, so this is something I just want to touch on a little bit. I sort of missed it yesterday, but I just want to say, yeah, ETH 2.0 is looking promising. There's about 3 million ETH that is setting up on that network. Things are looking positive for the future of Ethereum. However, it's just not quick enough for our gas prices, right? Um, I have been
Hmm.
watching our Telegram, and there's been a lot of and justified whinging as to the gas prices. People can't sell or move their ETH, their Ethereum sort of tokens, and they're in struggle city right now, and people are getting fed up.
Hmm.
This is a problem that's been around for over a month now. Is Ethereum keeps going up, and it's still demanding the same amount of Gwei, regardless of what the price is. And if ETH price keeps going up, people are going to start moving onto the other network, which is why a lot of us picked up a lot of BNB, hopefully before the pump. And um, I won't go too much into this because I think we've cried about the gas prices quite a bit, haven't we, Marshall? At least I have.
I am. I mean, I'm still sad about it, but
Mm,
yeah, we don't need to rehash all that again.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
it is.
Marsh, bring us on to some positive news, mate. You did share with me a cool article.
Yeah, positive. I guess everything is in the eye of the beholder. If I just grab your screen from you real quick here.
Should be able to pinch it off me.
So, yeah, in Nevada desert, a technology firm aims to be a government. And so this is a trend I think is gonna continue into the future as we see other, right. We saw Miami, now New York is looking really bullish on crypto in general, integrating it into payment solutions and everything. But I think we all know that the financial aspects of the blockchain technology are really sort of the very first step in what is really sort of a complete shift in the way we live our lives. Because using the blockchain, you can basically, I don't know how to put this, like Uberify everything, make everything sort of incentivized and trustless, and have rewards, but also what's the opposite of rewards? Getting wrecked. Have that all sort of
Tax.
be, have that all sort of be trustless and happen directly through the blockchain, right? So basically how Uber works, right? I think everybody knows, but you got to be a good driver, so you get a good review from the other person, but you also got to be a good passenger because the driver can review you in the opposite direction. Um, Now, the idea is sort of to get that into every corner of your life, so everything can sort of be managed automatically. And this is just, yeah, I don't need to go through all the details here, but there is a company out sort of there in Nevada, and they have bought an insane amount of land, and they're proposing to build 15,000 homes on 33 million square feet, an insane amount of industrial space. And basically, what they're doing is setting up an entirely new city, what they're calling innovation zones, quote unquote. And yeah, like Toronto's been looking at this. Some other places have been looking into these sort of brand new cities. They're sort of like a new prototype city. And what a lot of that has to do with is private companies that are obviously involved in the blockchain taking over regulatory aspects, legal aspects, and this is why it sort of is a controversial subject, because it is basically, yeah, privatization of the entire government structure in order to pull these new sort of smart cities off. So that I guess can sort of rub people in the wrong way. But the idea would be that, yeah, there are a lot of sort of inefficiencies and problems, especially at the local level of governments, when and graft and all these other problems happen especially in local governments in that sort of situation. So if you can get all this stuff on the blockchain, a lot of the money that flow, all that stuff can be sort of public and apparent, and it is hopefully going to work better.
Mm.
But this would affect everything from law enforcement to the rest of the story. And just to compare, right? This is also out in Saudi Arabia. This is from quite some time ago, though. They're planning on building this incredibly long smart city that's cutting through mountains, but would also sort of run on the blockchain. I think they're planning on having animatronic dinosaurs and other sort of exciting things in Neom, but it's the same thing. It's like a free zone, something extra outside of the legal structures that we're currently living in. And yeah, I don't know. I see these as sort of prototypes for the future world that is rapidly getting built up and created. So I don't know. Personally, I'll be watching these experiments very closely to see how they turn out and go. I don't know.
Mm.
What do you think, Gooding? Are you worried about the technocracy? Because I think it's coming no matter what you think.
Yeah, might be an opportunity for a change in scenery. But if you can you scroll up to the top of that article there was one image on the far left, and I don't know if you can zoom in. He looked very chuffed with himself. You go all the way to the top, and see him on the balcony on the far left there. See,
Oh, this guy. Yeah,
he
yeah.
looks proud, doesn't he? And you got
Yeah,
someone
no.
on the scooter in the middle just looking up at him, and I don't know.
Well, what would a smart city of the future be without a ton of segways just like
Mm.
all over the
And smug
place?
looks on their faces. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
No, it's like living in a shopping mall. Yeah. I don't know. Fans of South Park may understand the soda sopa reference, but I think they're going to
yeah.
try to soda sopa-ize the entire world because it's better for business.
Look, it's a very interesting concept, and I think we've heard about this. I'm not sure if it was Jay Z or it was Akon, and he was developing his Akon coin for his city in Africa. But we've heard about these sort of concepts before. Yet to sort of see anyone sort of initiate or follow through on these cool ideas. But yeah, nevertheless, I'm excited. I'll definitely take a trip over to somewhere where I can spend cryptocurrency. Probably just my Shat coins, to be honest. But yeah, I'd go. I'd suss it out. That'd be really cool. It'd
Go to
probably
the smart city.
just be hanging out with heaps of like nerdy type of people, which is my scene anyway. Um, yeah, I love it. I love it, to be honest.
Yeah, no, a lot of things about, especially in America. I don't know if you guys know how sort of troublingly broken some of the infrastructure is in America. And so a lot of that does need to sort of get revamped. And yeah, like they're saying here, everything from basic city stuff like marriage licenses to the elections, it does all sort of need to get on the blockchain if we really want absolute transparency and awareness, right? So everything is sort of out in the open. So if you had some sketchy secrets, it might be harder and harder to, funnel your Bitcoin over illegal corners. But that's probably a good thing, and that is really the complaint of most of the people, or the last remaining complaint for anybody about crypto is that I don't know, it's being used for nefarious purposes. But I'm pretty sure that's coming swiftly to a close, guys. Yeah, that's I don't know if that's bullish or not, but
Well, I don't know. Like if Jay Z needs to buy some cryptocurrencies and head over to Nevada there and needs to spend it, that creates demand for our Shack coins. So I guess it's bullish. But I'd love to see this stuff, to be honest. In all fairness, so I think it'd be really cool. I don't know about the choice in
I,
location, the Nevada desert, but
well, they got
it's
to find places that are cheap to build for now. But these really are sort of prototype ideas. And I guess the point I would make is that yeah, finance and making tons of money off Bitcoin is cool at first, but the real like actually application of the blockchain, just like with the Elio super farm thing, is not going to be actual cryptocurrency. It's going to be all that other stuff where you put the supply chain on the blockchain, you put the records on the blockchain, and whatever companies are setting those things up, the medical records, the marriage licenses. That you're gonna have an NFT for your marriage license, and whoever's setting
Mm.
up that system, that's the pre-sale I want to get in on. Although I'm afraid some of these government projects are probably going to be uh, not for sick gains, just for utility. um,
Well, let us know what you think, guys. If would you move to the Nevada desert? If you would, throw it in, hit a few of that, hit the like button for us, and we might go to some of the comments at the same time here. Carly's asked, does the ETH from the NFT sales go to Elio? Why does selling NFTs not require KYC regulations? Aren't NFTs tokens on ETH too?
hmm.
So the advantage of the of regulation or lack of in some of these countries is that it's still not very clear yet. I've been doing a little bit of research on some of the regulations going in Australia, and it sort of says initial coin offerings, and that's why a lot of people call it an initial distribution offerings or initial and they try to get around it just here and there. But NFTs in this case, because it's interesting because it's not really. I don't know. Like you're sort of avoiding is the question: is this a security or is this a financial product? And in a lot of ways, it's not. You could argue no, it's just a bit of art on the internet, and that's that little loophole we might be taking advantage of there.
Mm.
And it's that's the problem with like I said, there's not enough clear regulation for good or for but worse. Obviously, we want enough regulation to be able to track down some of these people that are scamming new crypto users. I'd love a lot more regulation to track those guys down. However, for this sort of thing, it's like, nah, should be right. What are your thoughts, Smash?
Yeah, I mean at this stage of the history of crypto, there's so much of it that's completely open and wild and free, and that's honestly sort of what I love about it. But obviously, if there's insane amounts of millions of dollars being created and made at any time, then government organizations are going to want to get a piece of that. But this, I guess, is the lesson to Nigeria and India and U.S. regulators trying to get a handle on this new ICO phase. You can't really. I mean, it's that was the argument back in 2017, 2018, and it's just happening again now, just under a new name. I mean, yeah, I heard it was initial Dex offering is another name for it, but that's sort of the point. You can just sort of change the acronym, move the things around a little bit. I think since it is all of these coins are listing on decentralized exchanges, what can you do? I mean, I could make a coin right now and list it, put my $5 liquidity in that I have left after allocating it all to Shat coins. But there's at this point nobody can stop me from doing that, and that's the really good part, and also the bad part that the scammers can get in there. I think Ellie show, yeah, go for it, Fishbowl. Hmm. Hmm.
And the other thing is it's through the means of an auction, which skips that pre-sale definition, because in law definitions mean everything, right? And because it's under an auction, this is one of the ways they get past that. If through an auction they can avoid that pre-sale as well. So there's a few loopholes that you can take advantage of, and I dare say he is. And to be honest, I actually like it.
Oh, it sounds like the fishbowl was muted, but it was a very interesting point the fishbowl was making. Yeah, basically NFTs are a total loophole since it's a product that already exists. You can just get it. You can just get it if you can buy a baseball card. If you can buy, I don't know, what do people buy on the internet?
Uh,
Like a treadmill or something.
Box of
It's
chats.
yeah. There you go. I don't know what do you guys buy it on the internet. If you can buy it, you can buy an NFT. It really is just a product, another sort of thing.
Mm.
which is it's a great idea because it does get you around all that like sort of legal securities problematic regulation. So yeah, smart move by Elio. I would sort of see this coming down the pike in the future if this would be a new way for pre-sales to happen, that you buy yourself a pre-sale NFT allocation. And just like it is says in the fine print on these NFTs, you will be getting some tokens depending on the NFT that you purchase. So there's sort of your pre-sale right there. Nice.
Yeah. I do want to sort of answer. um, thanks, Johnny, first for letting us know what it's a coin. I do want to sort of comment on Candy's question there, mate. I was very surprised when I saw Bondly had some of the worst tokenomics initially for a token launch, and the hype was just absolutely incredible. It's carried that price, and price is looking really good. Now, from what I can see, there has been more interest for Polkadot. Sorry, there's been
Mm.
more interest for Superfund than there has been for Polkadot. So I reckon, regardless of whether Superfund had poor tokenomics, I dare say that this will probably do very well, and the hype is there. I do believe it'll sort of be negatively affected as well by some of the Ethereum prices in gas, but people love and respect Elliot Trades for what he's brought to the community, um, and I dare say they're going to put a lot of trust in him, whether they buy in early or late. There will be tears if people get in late, but that's just the nature of the game, isn't it? So I do, to answer your question, I I honestly doubt there'll be a dump unless the bots can get into the liquidity pool and it'll do its usual dump as always. But yeah, people to Google. But I dare say that it'll continue to go up, mate. And I think we're all really excited to sort of see the product as well. So one of the things I do when I get in on a token launch, I buy the token, and the first thing I'm looking at is the Telegram to make sure to see what sort of FUD these people are spitting and some of the sick memes. And then I'll be looking at their product that they released as well. And it's like, well, how long do you have to wait for this? Will people get bored? So it'd be very interested to see. I don't think I've seen any dates of his products. Like how long will I have to hold tokens before I start, potentially start using them. That's one consideration. Some people just get a little bit bored. Some people, have their reasons for selling. But I dare say the price will hold most likely.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
And geez, I can't wait for a metaverse. I know that's sort of one of the things, a part of Super Farm, but I'm talking about the Ready Player One sort of thing. I can't wait to be able to just
Mm.
quit my job and just play games and do really well and earn a lot of ETH, and then I'd just make money in ETH. I'd absolutely love that. I don't know about you guys, but as soon as there is some sort of game where we can earn Ethereum by playing games, I say we start up some sort of guild, the Adapt Guild, and we get on there. And I don't know, we'll see.
Oh
I'm a little
yeah.
bit nerdy, but
No, I'm surprised it hasn't happened already though. That somebody hasn't made a decent game where you can earn crypto. Because yeah, I would join you in the guild. Gooding.
yeah, man,
Let's fight the
I don't care what
whatever we're
game it is, to
fighting.
be honest.
Yeah, that's it. I don't care what we're fighting. Let's fight them. Headshots for ETH. I will join that. Oh
Did you want to talk
man.
about Premiere, mate? You were
Yeah.
very interested
Just
about it.
before we're out of time here. Um, yeah, I was supposed to keep this quiet. I wasn't doing a fantastic job. So yeah, unfortunately, a ton of people got in on this
Wow,
pre-sale, but this wasn't
20K ETH.
it. Yeah, they managed to raise almost 20K ETH on what they were calling a primary bootstrap contribution. So again, not an ICO, not financial advice, not an IDO. This was a primary bootstrap contribution. And what is interesting about this project, at least I thought, is that it is an anonymous team, but
Ooh,
basically
risk.
what yeah, so you got some risk there as well, but obviously they got the hype and people have sort of figured out what these devs did in the past and seem to trust them with what they're doing, trusted them with 20K ETH. So they're sitting on a decent amount of money, and I think Wyatt invited a bunch of heavy bags. Is what they're doing is actual on-chain options trading. So you will be
Okay.
able to trustlessly and without anybody else centralized sort of setting up the contract. I mean, they're setting up the contracts, but the liquidity and everything is actually coming from the people. You're writing a contract and somebody else is picking it up, as opposed to many of the other sort of centralized options. And so you can see they already have a bunch of pairs on here, and that's sort of the point. I think that's why everybody was super pumped, and like you were just saying about whether people get bored waiting for the product, because so many launches go down like that, where they get the hype, they have an interesting idea, but then you look at the roadmap, it's like, oh well, Q4 and then Q27, like eventually we're gonna get you your product. Like, nah, Premia was like, obviously you guys are doing it wrong. We're just going to put the product out already. So you can already go on here and start options trading like a madman on sushi and synthetics, which honestly, that's a little out of my depth. That does sound like sort of pure insanity, but it is something that you can get into. And yeah, I'm not sure how much leverage you can actually use. But yeah, they're developing this whole platform. You're going to be able to stake. They got this bonding curve going on. Yeah, you're gonna be able to stake and
Mint. That's a function you don't want to see in a token.
yeah, you're just gonna be able to mint. I don't know. I've been seeing a lot of mint things going on. There's a new mint listing on PokeStarter and
Okay.
Kylan or
Oh,
Kylan
that's
Network.
right. Public Mint, I think it was.
Yeah, public mint, and then
Yeah, so
Kylan
that's
Network.
a on ramp token, or sorry, service essentially. So I got to read into it. I think
Yeah.
that has potential, but I do. Speaking of potential, Candy's just asked, what about Poke? Mate, it'll be the same as Super Farm. The hype there is crazy, crazy, crazy. And when people pledge 80 million and they only take 625,000 of that 80 million, let's just say that those bags still want to get in after launch. It's almost like an 80x just waiting to get in. So Fractal making another appearance. But yeah, poker
For
markets, mate, it's going to go
Poke
off, and
markets, right?
that's why Marsh covered it. To be honest,
Yeah.
is a no brainer.
No, definitely. I sort of have figured out PokeStarter's game. I mean, it is a pretty good game. You generate an insane amount of hype, and then you only let people buy a couple $100. Obviously, it's
Yeah,
gonna moon. I mean, it's gonna moon even on the people that are already getting in on it, because
yeah,
oftentimes, like for most of these previous sales, 0.23 ETH is just not enough. It's not a heavy enough bag for some of these people. So even if you do get in on the pre-sale, same with Option Room, 1.12 ETH, zero point 0.3. I mean, that's what you see on most of these pre-sales. Not FUD or anything, but it is sort of a really good tactic to almost guarantee a successful, powerful 10x launch from your
yeah.
token.
Yeah, it's almost like telling 30,000 of your followers in your Telegram to say, "Hey, this thing is going to go crazy, but I'm only going to select about 100 of you, and you can only put in this much into buying." So that fear of missing out, it does
Right.
huge things on the mind. That'll really get the people in excited, and that's why that's why there is a distinct success rate within PokerStarter.
Yeah.
There's other things that are really good, and you hope they do their checks to make sure it's a safe launch and you're not going to get rugged,
No,
because
of
that'll destroy
course.
the reputation. But
It is nice
yeah,
to be able to like trust some of these coins that go in on here. But that's all. If I could come back to Premium again, that was just another reason why they when they did this initial raise, there was no cap. All these tokens are unlocked. Because they also know that people are a little bit sick of missing out on these pre-sales. I mean, even if you do have the Poke Starter right now, it's so hard to get in. I get that performance anxiety. You gotta click like a madman if you want to jump in on any of these
mm.
pre-sales, just or get extremely lucky. And I
And
don't
if you
know. I
don't get
guess
in, if you
yeah,
don't get in, you feel like a bit of a potato.
yeah.
I feel like a bit of a potato. I was meant to drop a bit of ETH on a lot more ETH on PokerStarter when it was down to $1, and next thing I knew it was up at $2, and then
Oh
Super Farm launch was like, "Hey guys, we're on PokerStarter," and the price is just going
man,
nuts. And the reason why I want to bring that up, guys, is just to give you. I know a lot of you hold PokerStarter. It's an excellent platform, yada yada yada. But just be prepared for a healthy correction on on PokerStarter's token, because I dare say a lot of hype has been carried on through super farms. So just take that into account. Yeah, I could be wrong. Yeah, you can tell me to shut up. I'm a loser later on, but that's
Well,
just
let us know
something
in the
I'm
comments what
expecting.
you think about this.
Yeah,
Sorry.
am I a loser? I think we already know the answer to that.
Do you think Gooding is a loser? Let us know in the comments. Yeah, as you could see, I just pulled up the chart. It is sort of chopping around this $5 area where we got up to, but an absolute sort of rags to riches stories for PokeStarter. I mean, it's a very beautiful chart, I would say.
Yeah, I think they call
It's
this mooning
yeah.
in some parts of the world.
I would call I mean, we're sitting on about a 38x from the lows, so
Hmm.
I don't know. I also wish I had bought more, but crypto is sort of full of regrets, and you have to fight against that so you can continue to make sick gains because may have missed out on a potential 37x here on PokeStarter, but there will be something else coming down the pike. So don't lose hope,
Yeah.
friends, if you don't have your 5K PokeStarter.
Alrighty. Anything else we want to sort of cover there, Marsh?
No, I don't. I feel like yeah. I
I
feel
think
like that's
I do love a bit of banter, Carly. I do have a small bag. I really wanted to load up at $1, approximately 2 weeks ago. So, yeah, I feel a little bit hurt, and I just want to, really open up to you guys. But yeah, thank
I
you very
mean,
much for your support there, and
good.
I'll get through this. I'll look for other opportunities, and I'll just follow maybe Marsh's video for poker markets. I might get on that one. What's another one I'm looking at? There's Super Farm. Oh yeah, Dow Ventures. Dow Ventures. I will be in on that. I will release a video, which will be a little bit late, so I do apologize. It's all my fault. And I think Dow Ventures has the same potential. A bit of a Wi-Fi. Why that sound? A bit of a Wi-Fi contender without the ecosystem, but definitely some potential. A lot of hype in their Telegram. So yeah, hopefully these ETH prices don't affect that launch.
Yeah, I mean, for a second, it did feel like everybody was just going to quit ETH and move to BSC. But that's the trouble with momentum. Everybody's already got their projects built, and the launches are happening on Ethereum and PokeStarter, and that's the thing. It's like you could walk away, you can move to BSC land and just live in BSC land, but then you won't be in on the Super Farm launch, and you won't be in on the Dow Ventures launch, and you won't be in on the Blankety launch, and
The
even if you
Neds
do have to
launch
pay, yeah, exactly. Even if you have
was for you,
to
David.
pay 100, 200, 300 an ETH worth of gas just to get in on a project, people seem to still be willing to do that. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You can't stop me, gas prices.
Yeah, well, when you get gains like 100x on IDOs of paid networks, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? Maybe that gas is worth it in the end, even if you only can spend 0.2 ETH on it. But that
Yeah.
0.2 ETH turns to 23 ETH after 100x, that's for sure.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, alrighty. We'll wrap it up there, guys. I just want to say thank you very much for tuning in. We do this every single day, and at the time that we're not doing it, you can join us in our Telegram and a Discord, where we're talking about what's going to happen next, and hopefully keeping you guys informed. Before we get dumped on, or make sure you don't miss these opportunities that we're talking about. So
Get in that
join us.
Telegram, guys. Are you
It's a
crazy?
no-brainer.
That's where all the actual the what do you call it, actionable intelligence is. Here we're just having a little fun, we're having the news and everything. In the Telegram, it's like the war zone, it's the war
Mm.
room. What's coming up next, coin? Yeah, so get in there, guys. i'm
Yeah,
i'm,
if
I'm
you think
serious.
my chin's big, you should check out all the knowledge bombs we're dropping. They're even bigger. So there's a bit of perspective for you guys.
Yeah.
Terrible joke. And
You-
anyway, we'll see you guys all tomorrow. Catch you later.
Later.